Okay, good morning, guys. How are you doing today? Good morning, online. Good morning. So, hope everyone are doing good. Okay. All right. So, let's jump on. So, what did we discuss in our last class? Regions and availability zones. Ready for shootout? Close your books. Okay. So, what is a region? Region is a geographical area. So, in other words, completely, region is a place where AWS has its infrastructure. Very good. What is availability zone? Data center. What is it? Availability zone? So a region contains multiple data centers or single data center. So instead of calling data center, we should now call it as availability zone. So can you do you agree a region contains availability zones? Yes. And then how many regions are there at the moment? 27 regions. Which is the region that we should be using it? Mumbai. What is the Mumbai region code? AP minus South minus 1. How many availability zones are there in Mumbai? What are those? 1A, 1B, and 1C. Or call it as AP minus South minus 1A, 1B, and 1C. So these regions and availability zones are completely managed by AWS. Do we need to worry on that? Okay. Okay. And if I ask you to launch EC2 instances, and by the way, where do you launch these EC2 instances? Where the instances will be placed? In availability zone. Where do you place the EC2 instances? In availability zone. So if I ask you to launch an EC2 instances, will you launch all EC2 instances in 1A? All EC2 instances in 1B? Then what is the best practice? Distribute the EC2 instances across availability zones. Okay. Availability zones network are interconnected with each other or not? Yes, it is interconnected. Okay. So if I launch one EC2 instance in 1A and if I launch another EC2 instance in 1B, can both communicate with each other? Yes or no? Answer is yes, because availability zones are interconnected with each other. Answer is yes. Okay. So now if you take another region, let's take Ireland or whichever, Hyderabad, whichever region you take. Tell me, two regions can communicate with each other by default? No. But if required, yes. If required, yes. So your entire infrastructure, if you want to secure your entire infrastructure should be in what? VPC, in VPC. What is the full form of VPC? Virtual Private Cloud. Super. So do you all agree that AWS is providing a default VPC? Yes. So we should use the default VPC or create a new VPC? Use the default VPC. Later we create. For now, we'll go with the default VPC. How many VPCs you can have maximum? Per region? 5. So if you take that hypnotism diagram I did, right? So the outer layer, what is we have outer layer? AWS. Inside it, region. Inside the region, VPC. Inside the VPC, availability zone. Inside the availability zone, EC2 instances. Fantastic. Now you can open your books. Very nice now. So, am I on my words? Injecting? Yes or no? Louder. Super. Okay, Nana. So I have one small announcement for you. So, do you believe me? 100%. Pakka. Yes, right? Okay. So, generally, I give this option to every batch. So now you in front of you, you have two options. How many options are there? Two options. So how the next step should be in our course. So till now, all the basics, all the required things are covered. Now we need to jump into the actual AWS services. So what I wanted is, so for your good purpose only, so I'm putting two options for you. Before that, I'll give one example and you answer me. Which is your favorite place to visit? Some place in India or anywhere. Huh? Goa. Goa. So here very spiritual guy here, Tirupati said, very good. Right, and then Manali, Dubai. Dubai, Maldives. Okay, let's say for example, let's say Dubai, for example. Welcome to Dubai, Habibi. So now, if you're planning to go to Dubai, can you tell me, will you blindly go to Dubai? Or will you just try to investigate what are the places are there in Dubai? And then will you plan the trip or will you just go to the Dubai just like that? So if you plan the trip, how many places are there in Dubai, right? And then if you know the places already, let's say we have Burj Khalifa, for example, right? So, okay, you should know there is a Burj Khalifa and this is the place and this is the purpose of it. And then if you know the details about that entire place, when you go at that time, when you go to that place, you will enjoy a lot because you know the scene behind it. Yes or no? So similarly, here also in AWS, now you have two options. You know that AWS is a group of services. So first option is, I will give you the overall picture of the services. Like how you are planning for Dubai, you will give the overall about the Dubai. Here also, I will give you the overall services, just like till now we did teaser. From now, we'll go with the trailer, not picture yet. Right? I'll give you, let's say, what is EC2, what is Beanstack, what is this. So I'll give you the overall services information so that you will get to know the overall services in your brain. After that, we'll pick one service, we'll do the theory, and we do the practical. We'll pick another service, we'll do the theory, we'll do the practical. We'll pick another service, we'll theory, practical. So this is one way. Like giving the overview is option number one. Option number two, directly jump to the services. So which one would you prefer? Option one or option two? Option? Everyone. Online? Okay. So everyone voted for option one. So, and every batch also vote for the same option one only, because you will get more knowledge with this option one, right? So for that reason, of course, Babu, Ibrahim, guys, I'm saying we don't have practicals. Listen, this is the strategy. Guys, this is a strategy. So this is a strategy. First, if you know the technical, logical things, of course, we'll do the practicals. Okay. First, what I'm doing is I'm giving you the overall view of the services. This will help you like to integrate the services. If I directly take one service, you don't know about other services. No, then how do you relate to other services? If I'm talking about just ABC, do you know about DEF? Now, when I'm talking about ABC, then I'll say, Babu, there is something called DEF, wait. But now, if I tell you the entire alphabets, A to Z, can you easily relate everything now? You will get a nice picture, right? That is the reason here. I'll give you the overall the services first, then we'll take one service and we do practicals. For me, it doesn't take much time directly to jump to the practicals. I can directly jump to the practice and show you, but that is not the correct way to do it. You will learn, but the practicals, practicals are very easy with me. Okay. So click that, click this, click that, but you should know the logic behind it, no? Without knowing the logic, without knowing the theory, how do you do the practicals? You understand what I'm saying? Am I saying no to practicals? No, it is not like that. AWS is meant for practicals, but to do the practicals, we need to know the overview and theory of that service, and then we do the practicals. Agree, everyone? Online? Experienced people, what do you think? Yes? Any concerns? Anyone? But later you should ask me, sir, when do you start practicals? When you start practicals? When you start? When I start practicals, your hands will pain. That's how we do the practicals. But to go there, let's go slowly one by one. Okay. I'll share the screen, Babu. Don't worry. But thing is, do you agree with this option one, everyone? Super. Excellent. Okay, Nana. Okay, so I'll take, there is one question here. I'll take the question. Hey, do you worry how long? Do you worry how long do you want to take the course? Those who want to really learn the subject, they don't care the number of days. Remember this. Please don't pinch me all the time saying how many days, when do you complete, when do you complete. If you want me to complete, I'll complete within very fast. That is not good. And I don't like that kind of, I have good ethics. Okay. So don't ask me how long will this take, how long the course. Nana, you came here to learn. So purely pakka learn and then leave. Agree? Okay, so, and there is a question here. How can availability zone communicate with each other if they are protected by VPC? That is a question. You understand the question? Who is Drupal is asking. How can availability zone communicate with each other if they are protected by VPC? I'll give you one simple example. You have your home. Your entire home is VPC. You have bedrooms. Your bedrooms are protected. 2 bedrooms are protected by your entire compound wall? No, because you can go within the bedrooms, right? Within the rooms you can go. So the compound wall is the VPC. Inside that you have the availability zones. The rooms are nothing but availability zones. So it is not about. So you are protecting the entire infrastructure by the VPC. Okay, ma. So let's move on. Good. So can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Super. So the first service that we are talking about here, we know this already. What is the first service that you know already? EC2. What is the full form of EC2, Nana? Elastic Compute Cloud. So we know what is EC2. Okay, what is the definition of EC2? EC2 is a service from AWS where what do you do? Where do you create the virtual machines? Here, instead of calling virtual machines, what do we do? What we create? What do we say? EC2 instances. Nana, instead of saying create, use the word called launch. Use the word called launch. Because when we go into the practicals in console, there is no option called create instance. There is always option called launch. So when you go for interview also, if you say that I am creating instances, then interviewer can easily understand, Babu, is that create instance or launch instance? Oh, launch. That means you have not done the practicals inside it. So when you are doing habituated with the console, you will also get habituated with the word called launch. So is it better to create instances or launch instances? Okay. So EC2 here, what do we do in EC2, Nana? I'll write it here. In EC2 service, what do? We can launch EC2 instances. we can launch EC2 instances. Okay. So in AWS, in AWS, you know, AWS is a group of services. AWS is a group of services. And every service in AWS will be either regional or global. What is it? Regional or global. Again, what is that? Regional or global. Every service in AWS can be either regional or global. So now question here is, what is regional and what is global? Let's say, for example, I have launched, let's say you have launched an EC2 instance in Mumbai. Where did you launch? Mumbai. So Nana, you launch an EC2 instance in Mumbai. That EC2 instance will be available in which region? Mumbai only. Will that EC2 instance will be available in all the regions at the same time? Riya sir is available here only in front of you. Am I available everywhere? Physically? No. So here also, EC2 instances, when you launch EC2 instance in particular region, that EC2 instance will be in that region only. Now you tell me the certification question, guys, here. EC2 is regional, global? EC2 is regional. That is a certification question. So there might be few other services, which that service is for applicable for all regions. That is global. That is what? Global. And also I'm telling you, 95% of all the services, most of the services are regional only. Most of the services are. I don't separately say this service is regional, this service is global. This is regional, this is global. I don't say. By default, the service is regional only until I say all the services are regional. But there are only few services which are global. When we go to that service, I'll clearly say, Babu, this service is global. And rest all the services are regional. Now, do you understand the difference between regional and global now? So you tell me, EC2 is regional service or global service? Good. So here I'll write AWS services can be either regional or global. Regional or global. Our EC2 is regional service. Let's not introduce those things. Deepti. Let's go one by one. Nana, in EC2, what are the servers called? What are the servers called? What instances are those? EC2 instances. Good. Okay. Now, what is a load balancer? What is the definition of load balancer? One more time. So, okay, I'll tell you just load balancer definitions here. Load balancer. What is the definition of load balancer? Which distribute the traffic to multiple servers. This is a normal load balancer. Okay. Okay, now I'll give you one real-time example here for you. Nana, do you know what is on-premises? What is on-premises? The data center which are handled by us. So if you are handling the data center by yourself in front of you, that meaning in your here in your company, that is called on-premises, own data center. Okay. So now in your own on-premises, assume this, you have a load balancer in your on-premises. Yes or no? You have a load balancer in your on-premises or not? That is physical or virtual? Physical. Assume this is physical. Assume it's virtual. No problem. Assume this is physical. Okay, we have a load balancer, and load balance send the traffic to whom? Application server to DB server. Okay, see, this is the load balancer. This is the application server. This is the DB server. Now all the requests will come to whom first? Load balancer. From load balancer, it go to app server. From app server, it goes to DB server. This is cloud or on premises. This is on premises. Okay, now tell me, in on premises, we have load balancer. In on premises, we have load balancer. Can that load balancer can easily go down or not? It is on premises. Load balancer can easily go down. Okay, now tell me, is it easy to set up high availability in your on premises? Yes or no? Confidently, yes or no? No. No high availability. You cannot, in on premises is very hard to set up high availability. So I call it as no HA. Is it possible to set up auto scaling in your on premises? No. Guys, how do you set up? What is auto scaling? Scale out to scale in. On premises, will you set up the servers? If you don't want tap, can you remove the servers? No. Is it possible to set up auto scaling in your on premises? No. No auto scaling for your load balancer. And also tell me, is it easy to do scalability also in your on premises? No. Let's say in on premises, you have only 4 GB server. Your laptop is physical server, 4 GB server laptop. Can you easily increase to 8 GB, 32 GB? Not possible. In your on premises, can you easily do the scalability? No. No scalability. So Nana, for your load balancer, it is not that easy in your on premises to set up high availability. It is not easy to set up auto scaling. It is not easy to do scalability for your load balancer. That meaning your load balancer is dangerous condition or not? Agree. Your load balancer in your on premises is in danger condition or not? So that meaning any time that load balancer will go down or not? It will go down. How about in AWS? How about in AWS? In AWS, the first thing I'm saying you guys, load balancer in AWS, we call it as elastic load balancer. What load balancer? Elastic load balancer. We discussed about elastic, no? What is elasticity? Increasing or decreasing the number of servers based on the load. And here, load balancer is what? Elastic. From now onwards, in AWS, a load balancer is called it as elastic load balancer. In shortcut, call it as ELB. What is it, Nana? ELB. Elastic load balancer. Now, and one more beautiful thing, you know, this elastic load balancer from AWS is not a server. It is a service from AWS. It is a, if it is server, we need to create that server. We need to maintain that server. We need to set up high value put the server. We need to configure the server. Everything we need to do it for the server. But is it server? No, it is a service. That meaning there is a button called create load balancer. Click on create. Load balancer will be created. And that load balancer is completely managed by whom? Is it possible that load balancer will go down? Load balancer will never go down. So that is the beauty of AWS of this load balancer. So load balancer is a server or service? It's a service. Load balancer is a service. So I'll draw the load balancer here now. Here we have, when I draw the diagram like this is called load balancer. So Sayali, so what is load balancer? Okay, see here, I'll set up here like this. Now, what is this? EC2 instances. What is this? EC2 instance. EC2 instance. So load balancer distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances. Now, what is this load balancer called in AWS? ELB. What is that? ELB. Can this be EC2 instance? This is EC2. This is EC2. This is EC2. Yes, EC2 is a service name. No, EC2 is a service name. EC2 instance is a server. Okay, so can I have this EC2 instance in 1A? Can I have this in 1B? Can I have this in 1C? Yes or no? Yeah. So Sayali, who is that here? Sayali. Yes. So what is the job of the load balancer, Chitti, here? So whenever you send any traffic, or let's say, for example, whenever you access the load balancer will take the request and will distribute the traffic to this first machine. And second request will go to the second machine. Third request will go to the third machine. And fourth request will go to the first machine. What is that method called? Round robin method. So everyone will be starting accessing your load balancer. Now, question here is for you. You tell me, Nana, here. Is it good to expose this EC2 instance to your customer? Is it good to expose your EC2 instance to the customer? No, do not expose. Which one you need to expose? Which one you need to expose? Load balancer you need to expose. So we need to keep these EC2 instances public or private. Load balancer? Getting it? Slowly architecting, slowly, right? So, and now, yes, bypassing is not good, correct. So now, how do I access my load balancer? Nana, load balancer is completely managed by whom? AWS. Do we have load balancer is a server or service? Service. As it is a service, do we have the IP address for that? No, it is a service from AWS. No, it is a service from it. We don't have any IP address. Then how do I access my load balancer? Nana, whenever you create a load balancer in AWS, AWS will give you the DNS name. What is Nana? DNS name is nothing but the URL. What is that? URL. So how do you access the load balancer? Using DNS name. How do you access the load balancer? Using DNS name. You're getting it? So now tell me. So what is a plain load balancer? Definition of load balancer. Which distribute the traffic to the servers. Good. And what is this load balancer called in AWS? Elastic load balancer. What is the shortcut that you can use? ELB. So ELB is completely managed by AWS customer AWS. ELB is a service server service. So do we have the IP address to the load balancer? No. How do we access the load balancer? Using the DNS name. Clear? Slowly, aram se. Okay. So Nana, see here. This load balancer is managed by AWS. But this is managed by whom? Us. This is managed by us. Who need to set up EC2 instances? We. Who need to put application? We. But we can use load balancer to distribute the traffic to the EC2 instances. That load balancer is managed by AWS. Why it is called Elastic? You tell me now. Do I need to worry about the performance of load balancer? Tell me, Chitti. Do I need to worry about the performance of the load balancer? Do I need to worry about the auto scaling of load balancer? Do I need to worry about anything on the load balancer? No. Why? It is managed by AWS, because in the backend it is Elastic. In the backend of AWS it is Elastic. That means load balancer is managed by AWS. No, we don't need to worry about the performance. How much ever load you get also for the load balancer, automatically AWS will do the elasticity in the backend. 10 people access. Let's say there might be 4 servers in the backend. I'm talking about load balancer in the backend. Load balancer is, for us, it is a service. Nana. Service meaning in the backend servers will be there or not? Definitely servers will be there. For us, it will be service. That's it. Okay. So in the backend, 4 servers will be there. If so many people started accessing load balancer, 400 servers will come just like that. These are handled by whom? AWS. On the load balancer level. Getting it? Is it clear, everyone? Now let's write. Here. Elastic load balancer. What is the shortcut? ELB. Now ELB, what is the definition of ELB? Now tell me. ELB distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. Nana, can the load balancer send the traffic to 1A? Can load balancer can send the traffic to 1B? Can load balancer can send the traffic to 1C? Yes, it will send the traffic to all availability zones. Load balancer is region specific or availability zone specific? Load balancer is regional specific or availability zone specific? Regional specific. Yesterday we have discussed, no, load balancer will send only to 1A, na? Load balancer will send only to 1B, na? No. Load balance, let's say, whenever you're launching the EC2 instance, you need to select the availability zone. Whenever you're creating a load balancer, do you need to select availability zone? Not required. So that's why for load balancer, there is no availability zone. But the load balancer can send the traffic to multiple availability zones. It will send. Okay. So I'm writing here. ELB is completely managed by AWS. Do I need to worry about high availability, auto scaling, scalability, etc.? Every performance also. Very good, awesome. Nana, ELB is a server or service? ELB is not a server. ELB is a service for us from AWS. Can you log into the load balancer? Can you access the load balancer? Can you log in like a server? Because it's not a server. How do you access the load balancer? Using URL, that means DNS name. So you cannot log in to ELB. You can access ELB with DNS name. Does the ELB has availability zones? Yes or no? I'm not saying ELBs can send the traffic to availability zone, but the ELB is specific to availability zone? No. ELB doesn't have any availability zone. It is created at regional level. See here, guys. If required, on top of it, can I set up auto scaling also? Here. How many servers are there at the moment there? Instances, 3. Can I set up auto scaling? What is auto scaling meaning? Scale out, scaling. So I can set up scale out scaling if required. If required. Is it clear till here, everyone? Okay. So EC2 is one of the biggest service in AWS. EC2 is one of the biggest service. So we will take so many days to specially work on EC2. And guys, excuse me. And if you don't know EC2 service, you cannot claim as AWS engineer. You cannot call it as AWS engineer, right? So in and out, you need to know about the EC2 service. In EC2, there are so many things, but we will learn that later slowly one by one. So for now, do you understand what is EC2 and the load balancer here? Yes, this is just a trailer. I'm saying, I don't know, in experienced people, please, and everyone there in online. So this is just a trailer. We have the picture also. Picture abhi baki hai. Those, right? So picture is still pending, but here I'm just comforting you with the different kind of services now, right? Instead of pushing you directly into the scary house, instead of putting directly to the scary house, pushing, I'm telling you before itself, Babu, there is this here, that here, this here, so that you are aware of it. No, if you say, no, sir, push me directly to scary house, I'll die. Right? It's not good. So for that reason, I am comforting you with the services first. Okay. Nice, Nana. Okay. I'll ask one question. Please try to answer. I have given you one application to you, and I told you to put it in AWS. I have given one application to you, and I have asked you to put it in AWS. Tell me, which services do you recommend to put the application? One is EC2, another one? Super. One is EC2, another one is Elastic Beanstalk, right? So you can deploy on EC2 also, you can deploy on Beanstalk also. What is the major difference between EC2 and Beanstalk? In EC2, you go and launch machine, you go and set it up, you go deploy, you configure, you do everything. But in Beanstalk, it is automated, right? Beanstalk, it is a automated. So just the Beanstalk, it'll say, you just go to AWS service and say, hey, Beanstalk, come. Beanstalk will come and stand in front of you. And he'll ask, yes, Huzur, tell me what should I do for you? Like genie, huh? And you'll say, take this application. Yes, please give me. Do it. Thank you, boss. Yes, boss. So what it do? It will go and do everything behalf of you and give the URL to you. That's it. Simple. So Beanstalk is like a platform as a service. Now in platform as a service, what are customers are responsible for? Application and data only. Application and data only. So are we responsible for the servers in the backend? Do we need to worry about the servers in the backend? Do we have control on the servers of the backend? We don't have control also. But the beauty of Beanstalk in AWS is Beanstalk. You give what are you giving to the Beanstalk? Application only, no? No, everyone. What are you giving to the Beanstalk? Only application. And you know what the Beanstalk will do? Beanstalk will say, yes, boss, I'll do deployment for you. Deployment meaning what? Putting the application on the server. So Beanstalk will go and launch EC2 instance. What is the backbone of Beanstalk? EC2 only. So Beanstalk will talk to EC2. Arey bhai, EC2, come here. So Beanstalk will go and launch its own EC2 instance, and the application you have given, no, that application, he will put it in that EC2 instance. He will set up everything, give the URL to you. The question here is, who is the backbone of Beanstalk? EC2. Okay. In general, in platform as a service, do we have control on the servers? No. But in Beanstalk, we can see the EC2 instance. We have control on the EC2 instance also. We can have control on EC2. But who has launched that EC2 instance? Beanstalk. Who is the baby? Who is that? Whose baby is that? Beanstalk baby only, no? Will you go and calicify? I mean, will you go and touch that EC2 instance? No. So you have control on the machine, but is it recommended that you control that machine? No. Who will control that machine? Beanstalk only. Beanstalk. Understood? So in general, we don't have control on the servers in platform as service. But in Beanstalk, do we have the control on the servers? Yes. Who is the backbone of the Beanstalk? Super. So the next service that I'm introducing here is Elastic Beanstalk. And please don't call this as EBS. Please don't call this as EBS, because EBS meaning there is also one more feature is there. Don't call it as EBS. No, how? Before you write, what is the definition of Beanstalk? What did I tell you in the last few days back? Easy and quick deployment of applications in AWS. Fantastic. Easy and quick deployment of applications in AWS. Okay. Nana, in general, in platform as a service, do we have control on the servers? You don't have any control on the servers. In AWS Beanstalk, do we have the control in AWS Beanstalk? In Beanstalk, do we have control on the servers? Yes, we have control on the servers, but is it recommended to control? No. You have full control on EC2 instances launched by Beanstalk Beanstalk backbone. Who is the backbone of Beanstalk? One is it service? Now, who will handle operating system? Customer or Beanstalk? Customer or Beanstalk? Very good. Beanstalk handles EC2 instances, that meaning OS, behalf of us. Clear? Online, is this clear, Nana? Till here, everyone? Non-IT, are you getting it? Super. Okay. See here, guys. There is one client here. Listen this carefully and tell me, huh? Client. And client has assumed Baba application. Here's some application here. Client came to you. Client came to you saying that I have Baba application with me. Please help me to put it in server and give me the URL. You already said this answer. What are the services that will help to deploy the applications? EC2 and Beanstalk. What are the two things? OS meaning operating system. Yes, Ansari. So there are two options. What is first one, Nana? EC2. What is the second one? Everyone understood the difference between EC2 and Beanstalk? When to go to EC2, when to go to Beanstalk? If you want to cook everything by yourself, EC2. If you want to go to restaurant and eat direct the biryani, then go with the Beanstalk. Do you need to worry about how biryani got prepared? Not required. So in EC2, what we do, we go and do everything, right? We launch EC2. We launch EC2 instance. We configure EC2 instance. Right? We deploy ourselves and we maintain, we do everything by ourselves. But whereas in Beanstalk, Nana, you don't need to do anything. Give application to Beanstalk. That's it. Boom. And the only thing here is you need to select platform. What you need to select? Platform. So here, Beanstalk will give you few platforms, Nana. For example, it gives Tomcat, .NET, Docker, Go, Python, so Ruby, like this. There are so many platforms that that Beanstalk is providing. Let's say, for example, very important. See here, example here. What is the application that client has, in which language it is developed? Java. So now, if you want Java to be hosted on the server, what is the platform is required here? Which one? We have the platforms here: Tomcat, .NET, Docker, Go, Python. Which one would you select here? Tomcat. Which one? So Java works on Tomcat. So let's say, for example, you have .NET application, ASP.NET. You tell me which platform you need to select? .NET. Now you have Busu application, Python application. So which platform you need to select? Python. So based on the application that you have developed, you need to select the appropriate platform. That's it. So you need to give some configuration, select the platform, and then upload your application. That's it. And what you do when you select this Tomcat for this, what it do is it will go and launch EC2 instance automatically. Who will launch, Nana? Beanstalk. Beanstalk will launch and automatically put the application inside it, and it will give the URL to you directly. That's it. How we have practicals on doing all this. Whatever we discuss, we'll do the practicals, but slowly, one by one. One by one. No. If you go to YouTube also, you'll get the practicals. Yes or no? Tell me honest. I'm very honest. If you go to YouTube also, you'll see the practicals. But can you see the logics in any tube? Can you see the logics in any demi? Nowhere you see the logics, nowhere you see the theory like this. Okay, but practicals anywhere. But the only see, because as I'm in my industry in 17 years, many people what they do is blindly they are clicking it, click. So in my real time, in my production environment, my juniors or my team members, those who don't know the logics, what they do, I'll say, Babu, go and deploy. What they do is, he will follow the steps, click, enter, next step, click that, click this, click that. Are idhar to dekho, what is happening here? If you blindly go and click it, if something has happened, who is the most affected person? Me only, no, as a manager. Right? So for that reason, the person need to have a logics, theory, technical concept first, then practicals is easy, I'm telling you. Mark my words. If you don't have any basic logics, what will you do in there? Nana, practicals everyone will do. Troubleshooting, very less people will do. What is the meaning of troubleshooting? All of a sudden, your bike, you have bike, no? All of a sudden, your bike stopped. What will you do? What will you do? There are only few people will check what has happened. They'll go and open that engine pin. They'll clean it up. They'll do something. They'll push like this. Very few people will do. What other people will do? Blindly, they'll talk to the mechanic. Mechanic will put something. He will touch something and he'll start working. What the mechanic has, what you don't have? Troubleshooting skills. Mechanics will not be there in real time to help you. You have to do by yourself. To do this, whatever I'm teaching, that will help you. Whatever, each and every word that I'm teaching will help you in your entire life. I'm telling you, in your career. So for that reason, don't take it light. Don't think that, sir, labs, practicals will start. Ruko zara. Sabar karo. We'll start. Okay, Nana. So, is this clear till here, everyone? Yes, Sunil. So here, Sunil is asking, what is the ratio on number of load balancers and instances? So, okay, now, for example, I'll give you an example, you tell me. 10 people accessing your website. And the customer said, Babu, website should never go down. Will you implement load balancer or not? 100% yes. You will implement the load balancer. And you will be asking, how many people are accessing the application? What he said? 10 people. How many people? You tell me, for 10 people, how many EC2 instances that you can put? Huh? One, two, three. If you say 2, 3, no problem. If you say 1, then hard type pota. Cheppe. Okay. Nana, how can you have 1? If you have 1, there is no redundancy. If there is no redundancy, there is no high availability. Logic. Is it possible to have 1? I show you so many architectures, no, yesterday. You said, sir, there is only 1 server, no redundancy, no high availability. Customer will feel bad. Yes or no? So remember, 1 is not an option in AWS. You need to always think, what happens if this goes down? Customer should not get impacted. So minimum, how many should be there? Minimum 2, or you can have 3 also. And there are only, how many people are accessing? 10 people. 2 servers are sufficient or not? How did you say 2 servers are sufficient? Because 10 people only. So now the ratio also depend upon the number of people are accessing it. So if you have a question, sir, how many machines I need to put? How many people are accessing it? Think and then put the number of servers. Okay. Okay, Nana. So now, is it clear till here on the beanstalk? Okay. So now I'll give you one scenario, real-time scenario, and you should tell me. Okay, see, do you know blogger? Not burger. Blogger. What's that? Blogger. Blogger. What he'll do? Blogger, what he'll do? He write the blogs, no? You'll write, you'll go to the newspaper or you go to the website and write a nice, you read the nice stories, no? Who will write all this? Okay, you go to Times of India, what he's writing? All the paragraphs, all the blogs only, no? So whatever he's writing, so content writer. So basic content writer, we call it as blogger. Okay, so now we have the blogger who writes some paragraph about some current affairs. Okay. So generally what the blogger will do is, let's say for example, I have this guy, Asif only, right? I have Asif, he's a blogger, for example. So what he do is, he go to some other's website and he write the blog there. Yes or no? So later he got to know that, array, why should I write my blog in others website? Why should I write my own blog in another website? All the money is going to that person only, no? All the viewership, viewings, everything is going to that guy. So what he has decided is, I want to write the blog in my website only. Then he came to some other person like you, said that, Arey Babu, I want to set up the website to write the blogs. Then you say that AWS. You say AWS. So AWS, you go to AWS and what you said to him is, Babu, go to AWS. There is a service called EC2. Go launch EC2. Easy. We'll set it up and do everything. Oh. So immediately Asif went, opened the AWS console, and he went to EC2 and he got unconscious. Because in EC2, there are so many things. So no one directly can go and launch EC2 instance without knowing anything. Because there are so many technical topics. Those are things that we'll be learning in EC2, right? So, but Asif is a very techie guy. So he's not technical, but he's a good guy. What he did, he read everything, and with lot of efforts, he launched an EC2 instance. Amma, he said he launched EC2 instance. Then he got to know that he need to put application inside it. Then he got to know how to log into the machine. With lot of effort, he put the application inside it. And also he got to know that he need to have a database again. So he went to another service setting up the database and he got frustrated. Is he a blogger, technical person? Is he interested to do all these things? Who will be doing all these things? You. But as a blogger, is he interested? No. But for this kind of people, or anyone who is very new to AWS, or anyone who don't know about AWS, like there are big managers, they don't know very technical, but they want to run the business. They want to have something very immediately. For this kind of people, can go to EC2? Can they go to Beanstalk? They cannot also go to Beanstalk. In Beanstalk, you have application. No. Does he has application? No. For this kind of people, AWS came up with a service called Light Sail. What is that? You should say like this only. Light Sail. What is that? Because the name itself is very light. No more technical. Very light. So if you go to Light Sail, what is there? Everything will be readily available. Like you go to the sweet shop, all the sweets are available. No, you pick it up. You pick it up, eat it. Simple. EC2 meaning you go to the kitchen room and prepare the sweet halwa. Is it good that you go and prepare the halwa? No. Similarly here also, guys, here there is a service called Light Sail where everything is readily available. Go and cherry pick it. I need this machine. I need this application. For writing the blogs, there are some websites called WordPress, Joomla. There's so many websites there. That application is readily available. Click, ready. So that service, we call it as, what service is that? Light Sail, where everything is readily available. You just need to go and select it. No deployment, nothing, no EC2, nothing. Click it, automatically created with application inside it also, and then use it. Can we say software as a service? Everything is there. But you still have control on that machine. You can go and log into the machine. You can go and set it up your own stuff. You can go and modify everything you can do. Right? So, but you can say, sir, Abba, this is very nice, no? If everything is done by Light Sail, what will you do? So please keep this in mind. So don't try to pray or think or wish to have this kind of services, because you will not get jobs. Because everything is done by Light Sail, what will you do? So you need to have a service called EC2 so that you go and do everything. Okay. So what is this service, Nana? Light sail. So if you want to set up and create a virtual, Nana, we call it EC2 instance. Here we call it as light sail instance. What instance? Virtual light sail instance, which everything installed. Yes, Sayali, correct. So here, WordPress, GitLab, Node.js, Joomla, Drupal, Redmine, Nginx, cPanel, right, etc. There are so many applications are available already, so you can use anything here. I'll tell you that Veera. Nana, the main disadvantage of light sail is there is no auto scaling. There is no auto scaling. Tell me, if there is no auto scaling, would you recommend this for the production environment? Can it handle the load? Light sail is very limited. Light sail is very limited. So in EC2, you will get hundreds of GB RAM machines, you will get it. But in light sail, maximum you will get 32 GB RAM. Maximum. So light sail is very limited. That's the reason why they named it as light. Because for light project purpose, you can use this. Okay. So here, light sail doesn't support auto scaling. Is this clear, Nana? I'll also write. Light sail is very limited. Raj Reddy, are you new today or what? If not, we discuss. Okay. So auto scaling meaning, what is auto scaling? Others? Scale out scaling. Raj Reddy. So you can just go through a couple of links, recording lists, you'll understand. But for now, I can say, let's say Raj Reddy, for example, you have only 4 servers. Okay. And if you get lot of load to the 4 servers, that 4 servers are sufficient for you? No. So if you handle a load, what will happen? You need to increase the number of servers. No, from 4 to 10, you need to increase it, right? So that increasing, and now then when there is no load, do we need 10 machines? Not required. Again, back to 4 machines. So that is increasing the number of servers is called scale out. Decreasing the number of servers, we call it as scaling. So scale out and scaling is called auto scaling, Raj. Good. If it doesn't have auto scaling, it is recommended to use even for small projects? It's up to you, Saujanya. So guys, all projects will not be same. There are few projects which the customer will say that I'm okay for the downtime. I'm okay for this thing. No issues. It's not that mission critical applications will be there. For those kind of things, you can go for the light sail. But I'm saying it's very, very less percentage light sail will be used by companies. Just in case for dev environment or testing purpose, and for very small applications, small scale projects, they'll go for it, not for bigger one. Okay. So the next very important service here is, what is that? Lambda, not Nimda. Huh? Lambda. क्या है? Lambda. Okay. So now listen this carefully. Let's say I'll take an example. So what is your name? Black Spits. You only. Green shirt. Huh? Shankar. Shankar. Okay, so I'll take Shankar here, one of our friend here. Okay. So what he did was, see guys, what he did was, we have learned about EC2, right? Assume that we went into EC2, we learned a lot already. And Shankar got excited like anything. Wow, what a EC2. Today I want to go and launch an EC2 instance, 100%. Then I said, oh, hold on, Shankar, don't launch. Don't launch the EC2 instance until I say. He'll say that, sir, I launch. Sir, I launch. I'll say, Shankar, don't launch. Hold on your aggression. Hold on. Okay, we'll do later. Hold on. He'll say that, okay, sir. He went immediately to home. Night 9 o'clock. Thinking that Riyaz sir might have doing some other work. So he is not here. So let me go and launch the machine. Let me go and launch it. So what he did was, he went and launched the EC2 instance. What he launched? Whenever he launched the EC2 instance, automatically this EC2 instance is getting terminated. What is that? Terminated. What is the word I'm using? What is terminated meaning? Deleted. Automatically getting deleted. When you creating the server, so here, before that, I just wanted to, here we have, who is here? Shankar. Huh? Shankar. So can you launch an EC2 instance, Nana? Can you launch EC2 instance? Yes. And can you stop the EC2 instance? Can you start the EC2 instance? Can you reboot the EC2 instance? And can you terminate the EC2 instance? You know, launch meaning launching, stop meaning stopping the machine, start meaning starting the machine, reboot meaning reboot. How you're doing for your laptop? Shut down, reboot, same thing here also. Terminate meaning what? Destroy, that meaning delete, destroy, delete, kill, all these things. But from now onwards, if you want to delete the EC2 instance, completely, you need to use the word called terminate. Okay, now come back. So now here, Shankar is launching the EC2 instance, automatically getting terminated. Array, Riyaz sir is there. That's the reason why he's terminating it. I know, he told not to launch. So what he did was, he was awake till night 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, what he did was, he opened, very nice guy, 12 o'clock, he's doing AWS. Very nice. So he opened the console, right? And then again he launched. When he launched, again it got terminated. Oh, Riyaz sir is not sleeping yet. What Riyaz sir is doing at night 12 o'clock, right? So, okay, let me do one thing. He put an alarm at 3 o'clock. He put an alarm at 3 o'clock. So he woke up at 3 o'clock, right? And then he launched an EC2 instance. Again, it got terminated. Bah. Maybe Riyaz is doing some night out. Maybe he's having green tea. Who knows, right? So why? Later he came to office and he said, he is looking into my eyes. Riyaz sir, eyes are not red. Why? Because he knows that I'm awake all the night. Because I went and he's thinking I'm terminating the EC2 instance. I don't have any other work. I will see when the Shankar will launch EC2 instance, I'll terminate. I can button like Brahman do na, on off button. So I'll on off terminate. Is it my work to do at night? No. So then how the EC2 instance are getting terminated? So guys, what I did was here, Lambda will come into picture. What is that? So I got to know that Shankar is very excited to launch an EC2 instance. What I did was, I created Lambda. And very important word I'm using here is Lambda function. What is that? Function. So now I'm asking you, developers here, online, offline, everywhere. What is a function? Not that marriage function, that function. I'm not talking about that function. in your application, for function, what is function? Huh? Correct. Online also I need. What is a function? Function is a set of code, set of statements where I can reuse this function any times, right? So I'll take this, sir. He will be with me all the time. I am application. He is with me. Wherever I go, I'll say, sir, tell me about myself. Dabba. So what I do, he reuse the same thing again and again. He'll tell the same thing. Yes or no? Do I need to self-dabba myself? No. There is some person who will talk about myself. I can reuse him multiple times. Right? Function is a set of or collection of statements where you can reuse this function any number of times in the application. Understood? So now you tell me another question. Is it possible to run the function without application? Developers can answer. Nana, can you individually run the function without the whole application? No. Okay. Can you run the function without a server? Application should be on the server. Function should be inside the application. Function is a subset of application. And this application of function should be on the EC2 instance to run it. But take out this function separately. Take out the application. Take out the server. I can run this piece of code function now in Lambda. Serverless. Without server, without application, I can run the function. That is the beauty of a Lambda. So Lambda is server-based or serverless? Serverless. For us, it is serverless. What is the meaning of serverless? Serverless meaning where you don't have server. You're just, okay, now you have Google Drive. Are you logging into any servers to access Google Drive? It is a service for you, no? So that is Google Drive is serverless for you. Lambda is also a serverless. So, Nana, people, AWS is saying serverless. For us, it is serverless. But in the backend, servers will be there. But who is handling all those things? AWS. So, can I say, now what I did was, in Shankar's case, I created a small function. What function is that? Lambda function. Say that. Lambda function. Excuse me. I created a small Lambda function. What does the function contain? Code, no? What does the function contain? Code only. So in this Lambda service will allow you to write the code in multiple languages. What is our favorite scripting? Python. Bus. So that's why I said it use Python also, it use Java also, it use .NET also, it use Ruby also, it use Node, whichever that you are comfortable with it, Lambda will support everything. So what I do, I created a small Lambda function in Python. What did I do here? I wrote a code to terminate the EC2 instance. Okay, I created a Lambda function which has a code to terminate the EC2 instance. But how do I know when Shankar is launching, when to trigger this function? So guys, here, whatever you do in AWS, in the backend event is generated or not? In your laptop also, when you're clicking the mouse, event will be generated in the backend. What's that? When you open a paint event is generated. When you close event is generated. For each and everything in the backend, event will be generated. So whenever Shankar is launching the EC2 instance, launch event is generated or not? Launch event is generated or not? When he terminate event will be generated. When he reboot everything event will be generated in the backend. All these events are located in one service that is called Event Bridge. What is that? What does the event bridge contain? Events. What does the event bridge contain? Events. Okay. In that event bridge, which event I am interested? Launch event. Which event I'm interested? Event bridge is like a well, Bavi, like a well. It contains so many events. You go inside and which one you are interested? Pick it up. Which one I am interested here? launch event. Which one I'm interested? So now here, whenever he launched the EC2 instance, what event is triggered? Launch event is triggered. Whenever the launch event is triggered, guys, here in the parallelly, did I created a Lambda function or not? I created a Lambda function. So the function is ready. What is the function name? You can give any name. Can I call it as terminate function? What is, in which language I have written the code here? Python. Python code I have written. What does the code contain? To terminate the EC2 instance. See here. Now, whenever the launch event is triggered, I will invoke this Lambda function. What I do? I invoke. What is the word I used? Invoked. Whenever the launch event is triggered, I'll go and invoke. Invoke is nothing but calling. Invoke is nothing but calling. Pilavadam, calling. So when the launch event is triggered, I'll call the Lambda function. What is there in that Lambda function? To terminate. So it will go and terminate the machine. How many times he has launched the EC2 instance, those many events will be triggered. When that launch event is triggered, terminate function will trigger. So that is the reason why whenever he is launching the EC2 instance, automatically the Lambda function is going and terminating the EC2 instance. So Nana, Lambda, can we say used for automation purpose? Lambda is purely used for automation purpose. Lambda is server based or serverless? Lambda is serverless. Lambda is serverless. Now, can you run the code without the server? Here? Yes, you can run the code without server. So can I say Lambda is used for automation? Lambda is for automation. Now, where are all the events are stored? Which service is that? Event bridge. Which is that? Event bridge. So in event bridge, what do I create? I create something called rule. What do I create? What do I create in event bridge? Rule. I create a rule. Whenever the launch event is happening, triggered, I'll go and invoke the Lambda function. So here, Lambda is invoked based on the trigger or event. Make sense? Clear? Okay, now understood? Shankar, you understood? Okay. So whenever you're launching the EC2 instance, automatically is getting terminated. So that means in the backend, some automation process is happening. So how do you do that automation process? Using Lambda. Using Lambda. Okay, I'll give one real-time example. You tell me now. Nana, I have 100 EC2 instances. How many? 1, 2, 3. I don't have space. That's why I put only 4. Huh? All these are all EC2 instances. EC2, 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 EC2. Okay, now tell me, see here. I'm giving one, see here. At 9, okay, now tell me, all these 100 EC2 instances are used by DevOps people. Who? Night, they are not using these machines. Night, they are not using these machines. You tell me, if they are not using the machines, is it good to keep on running? So exactly at 9 PM, everyone left the company. I want you to stop the machines. Will you go and do it manually? Stop, 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 stop 100 times. What will you do? What will you do? And also in the early morning, 9 o'clock, you will come and you need to what? Start the machines. Tell me, will you click on start 100 times? What will you do? Yes. Now, how many Lambda functions you need to create in this case? How many? 2 you need to get. How many? 2. One is called stop function. What does it do? Stop all EC2 instances. And what is another function that you should create? Start function. And what is it do? It will start all EC2 instances. So how do I trigger that Lambda function exactly at 9 p.m.? Can I go and schedule it? Can I go and schedule it? There is an option called schedule where you can schedule exactly at 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock, automatically stop function will trigger, and whatever the code that you have written in Python or whichever language it is, so it will go and stop all the 100 EC2 instances in one shot. Clear? You understand Lambda? So Lambda will be useful for automation purpose. For that is the reason so many times I told you no. So your career should be with this combination. What is that combination? AWS, DevOps, Python. Some people will come and say, sir, Python is zaruri hai kya? Python is necessary. Not necessary. Are you ready to go and stop 100 EC2 instances one by one? Spend 2 hours instead of spending with your friend? So if you want to save the time, then you need to write the script. And that too, Python, it's not a rocket science to learn. It's very easy, and you don't need to go very deeper into Python, not required. Just on top, if you are able to understand the script, that is fine. And in internet, so many scripts will be available. You take the script and modify according to it and then update it. No need to go deeper into it. Clear? Okay, question for you. Can I create 10 instances using Lambda or only stop and Okay, there is a question from Sunil. Sir, can I launch 10 EC2 instances? Of course you can launch. You can do everything you can do through Python. You can launch also, you can stop also, you can do whatever you want, you're going to do. Okay. Now the question here is for you. What are the services that we have learned today? Number 1, EC2. Number 2, Beanstalk. Number 3, Light Sail. Number 4, Lambda. Number 5, Event Bridge. Number 5 is Event Bridge. So where are all the events are stored? Event Bridge. So what is Lambda? So what do we create in Lambda? Functions. What functions are those? Lambda functions. What functions? Lambda functions. Clear? So see, we have covered so many services today. So if you know like this overview of the services, so then your brain will start thinking how to integrate this service, that service, and then it will be so very nice basically. For that reason, I took this strategy. This will really help you guys. Okay. Can we not use Java to write Lambda? Of course, Rupali. So guys, it supports Python, it supports Java, it supports what is that? .NET, it supports etc. So many. It doesn't support PLSQL. Come on, PLSQL is for queries. No, how does it support? Azamu. Okay. Yeah, Node.js also it supports. Good. Take the screenshot. No, Priyanka. If you say any kind of limitation, then I can shell. No, it doesn't support shell script. No. Shell script is for the Linux machines, not to Lambda. Not required, Ashwini. So for that, we have a topics coming in. When you go to the database services, there we learn Ashwini. Huh? But load balance will not be there for database servers. Databases or servers are standalone machines. No, we can directly connect them. Correct, Saujanya. Event bridge contains events. Okay. And second one. Hmm. Okay, Nana. That is different, Sunil. Terraform is completely different. It is to automate the entire infrastructure, but it can also be done. Lambda Terraform can also do that, but Terraform will do a lot of things than Lambda. Can we skip the Lambda function, create the EC2 through VPN? Can we skip the Lambda function, create the EC2? Yes, of course you can. Azam, you can do. Sir, can we start DevOps simultaneously or it can be understood only after completing? Wait for 1 month, Shivam. So once we are done with EC2 service completely, then you can go with the DevOps classes. Until then, please wait, because in DevOps, they'll use EC2. Unless you get confused. For that reason, please wait for 1 month and then start it. No, Ravi Kumar. Sayali, don't worry about Terraform. That's it. So experienced people are asking these kind of like advanced questions. Other people, you can ignore it because those are not required. Terraform is like an infrastructure as a code, Sayali. So instead of doing manually launching EC2 instance and everything in AWS, through code, you can do it. And previous key. Great. So can I get the final CC for today online? CC with smile. Okay. Good. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next services. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.